Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy Arsenal Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are losing out on Declan Rice. Manchester City are closing in on signing Declan Rice. An official bid has been confirmed today. Declan Rice open to joining Manchester City. West Ham willing to sell to Manchester City rather than selling to Arsenal. City will have a better offer for Rice to West Ham, and is expected a deal could be done within the next few hours. We're going to be diving into this story. We're going to be diving into why Arsenal failed to get the deal done on two different occasions, and now Manchester City, within one bid, within just one single bid, they are getting Declan Rice. The situation has evolved on very, very quickly after Ilkay Gundogan confirming that he will be a Barcelona player next season and he will not be playing for Manchester City. I want you to hit the like button. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions in the comment box below. If Arsenal don't get Declan Rice, where do we turn to? Moises Caicedo, very, very nice shout, by the way. This could be, again, another blessing in disguise. You don't get Mikhailo Modric in January. You get Leandro Trossard. I think Trossard really did very well. You don't get Declan Rice. Yes, he goes to Manchester City, and you don't want to play Manchester City with Declan Rice in midfield. But definitely, you get Moises Caicedo. If we can get Moises Caicedo, that would be much better. But anyway, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling? Rice to Manchester City is definitely the topic now. Rice to Arsenal is cooling a little bit. Of course, a few sources still claiming that Arsenal are in the driving seat, but you're not in the driving seat against Manchester City. You're never in the driving seat when City come in for a player. When City come to rival you for a player, you're never in the driving seat. But anyway, let's get this video to 500 likes and let's dive into the details as they are progressing on this deal. Now, the story has been broken by Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein. Romano saying that the Declan Rice deal update, West Ham always expected Manchester City to join the rest after Ilkay Gundogan. Manchester City will only bid if player agrees to the move, which is actually absolute nonsense because Rice has already agreed to join Manchester City. Arsenal remain confident and prepared to bid again for Declan Rice. Arteta is insisting no approach yet from Manchester United. Right? Who do we believe? Who do we not believe at the moment? I would rather believe no one, to be honest. Like, I would rather take no one's word on this one when it comes to Arsenal leading the rest. But anyway, David Ornstein also saying that Manchester City are expected to make their opening offer for Declan Rice today. On Thursday, Arsenal had a club record proposal worth 90 million, comprising of 75 million pounds, a fee in guaranteed payments and 15 in add-ons turned down by their Premier League rivals earlier this week. But it is believed Arteta is getting closer to. Arsenal are getting closer to a fee that West Ham are aiming to achieve if their captain is gonna depart. If he's gonna depart, or when he departs. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. They are also saying that the Athletic reported earlier this month that the Premier League champions were really actively exploring an approach of their own for the 24-year-old, which they are set to follow with an official bid today. City are already set to complete the deal for Chelsea midfielder Mateo Kovacic imminently, with Barcelona closing in on a move for Ilkay Gundogan on a free transfer. And this is where we are really. This is from, Dodgy Critchley. And I really like Dodgy because, again, he's one of those, Football Daily pundits that I like a lot. I like his opinions. He says that when Manchester City enter into direct competition with a rival for a player, such as Maguire, Sanchez, Jorginho, it has generally worked to their advantage to miss out on such players. With Bellingham already at Madrid, though, Rice feels different. Huge few days ahead. That is his opinion, but we're going to be diving into that because I really think this is over. This is pretty much done. This is over. There is nothing about. I think Arsenal should just pull away, and I think we just need to rest our case. Okay, listen. We always knew that we were not going to be the only club Rice was ever going to sign for. And we knew that we were never his priority. His priority was Chelsea. Chelsea not being able to sign him, it meant that we had a very huge opportunity, and we've just blown that. We've blown ourselves out of proportion. We've blown ourselves out of the water. Now, last week, The Guardian, through Jacob Steinberg, reported that Manchester City were clearly preparing to blow Arsenal out of the water with a bid they are working on since long time ago. Just imagine if you've gone in with 80 million and that is rejected, you've gone in with 90 million as a second bid, that is also rejected, and Manchester City, you don't expect Manchester City to go in with 70. You don't expect them to go in with 90. Manchester City, after signing Jack Grealish for 100 million pounds, they will sign Declan Rice for 100 million pounds. Now, I still understand from Jacob Benz that Arsenal were trying to explore a move or try to do a move for Declan Rice below 100 million. And that is where Manchester City fill in the gap, because West Ham, this is so much for West Ham. One, they're losing one of their best players. Actually, they're losing their best player in the last 5 years, half a decade. And I think they've not made a huge sell, right? They've not made a huge sell or a big name sell ever since Frank Lampard. I could be wrong about this one, but I think when you think about Lampard and you think about Rice, I think it's very, very similar. It's quite very, very similar, right? So for West Ham at the moment, one, they've looked at Aston Villa bagging 100 million, and they've seen what 100 million can do to a club like Aston Villa. They've seen this, revolution, the signing of Emi Martinez, the signing of Leon Bailey, the signing of players like Filippo Coutinho, the incoming of Gerrard, the incoming of Unai Emery as manager. That one sell has propelled Aston Villa into potential Europa League contenders every season, right? Because they have a very, very good squad. Really, I think, would they be playing in the UEFA Conference League next season? Probably. I think they finished, just in good positions to play in the UEFA Conference League last season. So that's what West Ham are looking at. They're saying, if we can get 100 million for Declan Rice, this is the turning point. This is where our seasons to come change. Imagine they're looking at Joao Palhinha right now. They're looking at high quality signings, just by anticipating that they will get a very, very good amount of money for Declan Rice. So Arsenal have just blown themselves out of proportion. We've just blown ourselves out of the water. We should have gone in with 100 million, and then the structure would have been a problem. I think West Ham would have understood that we are really there. The problem is maybe the structure. But I think West Ham already now feel Arsenal really don't want to meet our asking price. They're hesitant, and now we are on the table. They have a club that is willing to offer them much more than they ever wanted, much more than they ever felt Declan Rice was worth for. Listen, very similar situations to what happened in January. We went in with an initial bid for around, was it 60 for Mikhail Modric, turned down, 70, turned down, 80, turned down, 90, turned down, and Chelsea, because, look, you know what happens? Because you have made all these bids, your rival then comes in with an improved bid on your bid. Right? It's what happened. It's what has happened every single summer and every single January transfer window in the last 3 years. You look at the Lisandro Martinez one. Arsenal go in with 45, turned down. Man United go in with 65, and Arsenal we can't meet that. And Ajax wow, this is a lot of money. We never thought we would get this out of Lisandro Martinez. It's the same thing with Mikhail Modric. Shakhtar say we want 100, a very big initial fee, a very big guaranteed fixed payment, and a good structure and achievable add-ons. Arsenal try to make that difficult. Chelsea are watching, and Chelsea tailor their bid just as a correction to our recent reckless bids. And that's what has been happening. And when they went in with that bid, a deal was agreed within hours. It's something with Declan Rice. Now, Fabrizio, look, I think there is still the feeling in the media that the player wants to play for Arsenal only. That is bullshit. I don't believe that. There is no reason as to why Rice would love to play for Arsenal only, right? Man United are the biggest club in the Premier League. Manchester City are the most successful club in the last decade. Liverpool have one of the best managers as well in the Premier League, and Chelsea. He's a boyhood fan of Chelsea Football Club. So I don't see any reason why he would go, I'm turning down Manchester City. I want to play for Arsenal only. No, Ike Gundogan is gone from that starting 11. So there is guaranteed playing time for him. There is guaranteed day in, day out, weekend in, weekend out, Champions League football, Premier League football, and week in, week out, Champions football. It's guaranteed. There's no question about that. So for me, I just feel like Manchester City, one, are in a much better position to do a better deal with West Ham, because for us, we want around 6 signings. We want to sign Julian Timber. We have concluded with Kai Havertz. We want to sign probably a forward, probably another centre back. We have so many positions to deal with in this summer. Manchester City, I don't even think they need Kovacic, do they? Do they need Kovacic? I don't know. I don't know if they need Kovacic. So I think that they will need 2 huge signings. One, in Declan Rice, because, of course, Kovacic comes in because they will be losing, Bernardo Silva and Ike Gundogan. So Rice will look at himself as a direct replacement of Ike Gundogan. And that's going to happen. And then they will sign Dusko Gvardiol. So, and they have a lot of money. 300 million from winning the treble. I've always told you about that. So I think Arsenal just blew themselves out of proportion. If Rice was our real priority, there is a feeling that maybe Arsenal could have been trying to test the waters. Okay? There is also such a feeling that maybe Arsenal are trying to test the waters. Can we sign, a player, the profile of Declan Rice and that? If that is what we were trying to do, then I have no problem. I have no problem with that. But if he was really our real priority, like we said Tielemans was, like we said Mikhailo Mudryk was, like we said Hausemuwa was, like we said Dusan Vlahovic was, we are doing really a very good job in terms of missing out on transfer priorities. And if we want to sign a player in the next future, in the coming transfer summers and in the near future, we should never make them our priorities, because we've not got any of our priorities in any single summer, have we? Okay, maybe Gabriel Jesus last summer, priority, but I don't even think he was priority. He becomes priority, becomes second. He was second on the list after Dusan Vlahovic. Okay, so he was never a priority for Arsenal. The priority was Dusan Vlahovic, who goes to Juventus. So for me, I'm looking at this deal. I'm not shocked with Manchester City coming in. Ilkay Gundogan confirmed yesterday that he's a Barcelona player. He's done medicals. He doesn't have anything to do with Manchester City anymore. They're always gonna find a replacement. They're always gonna try to come in and save the day. They have come in with for the Declan Rice deal. Arsenal have gone with 90 million. All Manchester City need to do is this. Table 100 million in terms of the overall package. Give, offer a player, maybe Cole Palmer. I've heard that they're willing to offer Cole Palmer in exchange as well as part of the deal. If they can offer Cole Palmer and table 100 million in overall packages and convince West Ham that they will pay that money within 2-3 years, the deal is done. Yeah, the deal is done. Even if it's 80 million fixed, even if it's 80 million guaranteed, the deal is gone. Yeah, for me, Rice is now a City player. I don't see how we beat City to him. I don't see. They have UEFA Champions League. They're treble winners, best manager in the world, most successful club in the Premier League in the last decade. They're just there. They've got the money to pay the wages. They've got the money to promise him, playing together with the best players in the world every single season. He's going to be playing with John Stones, Jack Grealish, Calvin Phillips. All those are, England internationals. Kyle Walker. All those are his England international teammates. So There is little for Arsenal in this deal left. There's very, very little. If we pull this one off, I will understand that we have magically become much better in negotiation, in flexing, and in bargaining. Because it's one way I feel like if Arsenal are going to blow Manchester City out of the water, we might have to pay huge amounts that we never prepared. We were never prepared to pay. And that's what actually scares me. What scares me is Arsenal paying huge amounts of money that we never thought he was worth of. Right? Imagine Manchester City going in with 100 and Arsenal go, we'll go 110. West Ham will agree straight away. But is it worth 110? No. Is it worth 100? No. Is it worth 90? No. Is it worth 80? No. He's a 70 million pound player, 60 million guaranteed, 10 million euros in add-ons that are even unattainable. That is what Declan Rice is. But now with the competition that we have attracted, Mikel Arteta, of course, will feel disappointed. But I think it's getting used to that a little bit. That when you're managing Arsenal, just like Arsene Wenger, the disappointments in the transfer window are recurring. Right? They're part of the job. They're always part of the job. I still remember, if we can count how many players Arsene Wenger asked for and he didn't get, Karim Benzema, Gonzalo Higuain, those are just two of the many. So Cristiano Ronaldo, Eden Hazard, going to Chelsea, Juan Manuel Mata signing for Chelsea, as well. It's an endless list. You keep on counting and counting and counting. And for me, Rice is just part of that list. We'll see you next soon. I think that will be in the Community Shield, right? We'll see you soon, Rice, in the Community Shield. And we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. We could win the Community Shield and many Arsenal fans will get excited. But in the long run, Manchester City will have taken the guy. And Rice, ex-Lodri, ex-Kevin De Bruyne, ex-Phil Foden, ex-Kovacic. That's another treble there. That's another treble. But I think Mikel should not be demoralized from winning the EPL. There's still a chance. There's still a chance for us to win the EPL. It's just gleam, right? It's just becoming darker and opaque. But, right, I'll speak to you right in the next one. More stories, more live streams coming your way.